And from this moment forward, NXT will be
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Joe and Shob's Show podcast. I'm Joe, that's Shob.
That's me.
Yeah, that's it. That is you. We're going to be talking about wrestling for the second week in a row. We actually made it to week 2. Can you believe it?
Hey, week 3 though, we might get canceled. We might get shut down.
It was a long, hard road to get here. We worked very hard. We've been working
hard. I had to watch a lot of wrestling over the week that I didn't want to watch.
Yeah.
I'm obviously kidding. But,
Speaking of which,
right.
Hulu, I might get it.
I'm okay with. I was about to say I'm okay with Spotify. I hate myself.
No, Hulu has that shortened version of Raw, and I think it has SmackDown. It also has Rick and Morty too, so I might get it.
Oh dang! I think Tom has it. That's a roommate for everybody at home, so I could probably just watch that stuff on myself.
Yeah, it has the shortened version of Raw we talked about last week. Anyway, so
all right. So there was a pay-per-view over the weekend.
No, we're not getting there. We're not going to go there yet. We're not going to go there.
All right, fuck you. Okay. What? Tell me what.
So I want to try to get our personalities out there a little bit. We want to.
Oh, you're right.
Tell people.
It's not like we outlined the podcast and I just completely went off the rails.
You do that all the time. It's okay.
Hey, we've had one podcast. You can't say I do that all the time.
True. But we just thought we'd get ourselves out there a little bit more. So. Right now, we're going to go through our top 3 favorite wrestlers of today. We're going to save top 3 wrestlers of all time for another podcast, a bonus episode sometime in the next millennium. So we're going to go to you. Who are your top 3 wrestlers of today?
No one wrestled today. It was an off day. There's no NXT, Raw, or SmackDown.
Answer the fucking question.
All right, so I'll tell one, you tell one.
All right. Number 3, and then, yeah. All
right, so my number 3, I'm going to go Kevin Owens. I like him a lot. He's such a good heel. He's doing great as champ right now, and I used to actually fucking hate him. Like, didn't want to see his face. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm an idiot, because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to hate Kevin Owens. And honestly, it works really well. I like him a lot.
All right. My number 3 changes all the time. But you might yell at me for this, but I'm going to go with Finn Balor.
I don't know why I'd yell at you for that.
No, because he's injured right now.
That's not important.
Yeah. His jump up to the main roster was a little quick, but Kevin Owens put in good perspective on a podcast he did with Chris Jericho. He said, he was in NXT for 2 years. He paid his dues down there. People said he was in there too long, and people were upset about that. So when they brought him up, they pushed him right away because, they wanted that time in NXT to count, I guess. And that makes sense. So that made me more okay with it. And when I looked at it from that perspective. And even then, his work in NXT is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly didn't watch most of his NXT stuff because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I can send you some matches. Actually, people can recommend matches too in the comments section.
Yeah. By the way, I this kind of stuff changes all the time, so this isn't my definitive top 3. I just say actually these are just my 3 favorites. I don't want to put an order to it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know.
I'm having an order to mine though.
I'm really bad at just having a definitive favorite thing. I couldn't tell you my favorite video game of all time. I couldn't tell you my favorite movie of all time. Right. I'm really bad at that stuff.
Yeah, I feel you. It takes a lot of thought.
But another one of those is definitely Seth Rollins. I don't know. I could just tell I love him so much because when he came back, I was absolutely off the wall excited for him to come back. And I'm really excited for him to get the championship belt again. I just know how I feel about him because I want him to beat Kevin Owens, and the problem is I also want Kevin Owens to keep the title, and it's just like I have investment in this storyline. Obviously, I like these guys a lot, and I've liked Seth Rollins ever since I first saw him. He's just really, really good wrestler. I wouldn't say he's the best amazing on the mic, but there's something about him. I like him a lot. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I like him a lot. He's probably in my top 10 right now. I don't know. I I think he's really good though. We might have the same number one. I just realized that. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna have the same number one.
All right. Number 2 for me is Kevin Owens. So
All right.
pretty much
All right.
all the same reasons you said before. He is perfect. He's perfect on the mic. You know, there's no one. He makes himself. Like, he makes his presence felt no matter what role he's in. Like even in the past year before he was in the main title picture and he was just doing random crap all the time, he still was the best part of the show, and he always was super entertaining, and I think that is really important. And he puts on amazing matches all the time. So
he's gonna thrive in the main event scene. You can tell he's
there's no way
loving it.
There's no way he's gonna be kicked
He
down a
is
pig.
such an asshole. I just love that about him though. He's killing it.
Yeah.
He is killing it, and I don't know. It's just great. You tell me your number one. Swerve me. Tell me your number one.
I think I know what yours is.
No, because I'm curious if we do have the same one. I want you to say yours.
All right. Number 1 for me is AJ Styles.
All right. Okay. Why?
He's literally just come into his own. I feel like in the WWE. In TNA, I didn't know a whole lot about him in TNA. I just from various matches I watched on YouTube. I watched a TNA pay-per-view once. It's Bound for Glory 2011. I think he had a match with Christopher Daniels. Iron Man match or Last Man Standing match. It was great though. I loved him. And I've obviously seen all his TNA world title wins and stuff. Matches against people like Sting. I thought he was great back then. I watched a few of his New Japan things. He had that match earlier this year with Shinsuke Nakamura, which was fantastic. And then he came to WWE. He was a good guy, He was as I expected him to be. Then he turned into a heel, and he really found himself. And he's solo. He's a solo heel now. I don't think he's ever done a role like this where he's cocky and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen all of his stuff, but it just proves that he can do really any role they put on him. And of course, he's probably the best in-ring worker they have right now.
Yeah, as far as wrestling ability goes, I literally think he's top of the mountain right now. I'm sure if there is anybody in the company, if they do have the wrestling ability that he has right now, either they're past their prime or they're going to be as good as him.
Right.
But right now, wrestling ability, AJ Styles is bar none.
I think Seth has the potential to be better than him one day.
Yeah, Seth definitely, but Seth's only been in the singles. This is only his third year singles ever. So, well, I guess
he had
indies,
stuff before, but
I don't pay a ton of attention to indie stuff or Japan. So I'm kind of a loser. I'm only just now trying to getting into other stuff. I watch a little bit of Lucha Underground. I don't know. I mostly just watch WWE. If you guys want to make fun of me for it, it's fine. I understand. I'd like to get more into other stuff.
I only watched the Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles match because everyone was raving about it. I'll be honest.
All right. AJ Styles is a really easy number one, and I could put him at number one, but honestly, I love getting entertained when I watch wrestling. And I do think AJ Styles is number one, but I wanted to say New Day.
Oh.
I know they aren't a one wrestler, but as far as just, a group, or I'm going to count AJ Styles, but I don't know. I want New Day to fit in somewhere there. I love them so much. I don't want them to be champs anymore, but as far as entertainment goes, they are the life of it.
Yeah,
and I can't. I keep thinking in my head, what are they going to keep doing with them? Because they're part of why I always come back. Because there was a promo after they beat on Raw this week with them being zombies or something. What's going to happen? The only way we can get the title taken from us is with zombies, and then even then, I don't know. They're just so entertaining.
Yeah,
and
I remember it. A year ago, they had a backstage segment with Tom Phillips or whatever, and it was 17 minutes long, and all they did was just talk, and it was really entertaining.
Yeah, even What Culture interviewed them, and
they
literally just say whatever they want, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put AJ Styles number one because we have basically the same reasons. Because as far as wrestling goes,
also as a quick honorable mention, I'm going to put John Cena. John Cena would be my number 4.
John Cena is great. we can go into all that stuff later. But
Yeah.
I'll put an honorable mention as New Day. New Day doesn't really count on top wrestlers, but if we both have a number one, is AJ. AJ's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing really well as a heel. No, I don't think anyone would disagree that he was better. Would disagree saying that he's a lot better as a heel than he is as a face.
Yeah.
There's just so much more interesting about him. When he was a face, there was something. I don't know. I thought he was a really good wrestler, but as far as like thinking he was cool, it was kind of like, he's all right.
Eventually, he'll be a good face though. Like now that he has a personality behind him. So let's get into the Clash of Champs. All right.
Or Clash of the Champions. If we're Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Mick Foley.
All
right. So I don't know if you want to start or I'm gonna start. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was that crazy. I don't know. It just felt like kind of an enhanced Raw, which sometimes these end up feeling like. But I don't know. I wasn't too crazy about it. I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was fine.
I think
if we're going to talk about it real quick, that's just what I thought. It was good.
I think the problem with it was that there was no payoff really at all to anything.
Yeah, there was a big problem with there was only one title change, which I guess isn't a problem.
It wasn't a payoff.
Keeping their titles. Yeah. I don't know. Like it kept the stories going, which is obviously not a bad thing, but it didn't really. I don't know. There was something missing from it, keeping it good. I don't know. There were obviously some stuff in it that obviously should have happened that didn't happen. You know, like if those things did happen, it would have made it a lot better pay per view. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But overall, it was just good. I don't know. It was just a little bit better than a really good Raw, I guess, or a little bit better than a Raw. I don't know. It was enhanced Raw.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's get into it. So we have New Day versus the Club. And the New Day beat the Club with assistance from the trombone. What do you think about this?
I know, like 5 minutes ago I said New Day. I love them. They're like my favorite thing about the show. But there's something about them where they don't need the titles anymore. The club needs the titles. And they're just kind of wasting the Club's talent.
Yeah, we'll get into the Club later, though, because they come up again on Raw. We'll get into
the Club. They come up again later again. But the Club could just be these big monster bald guys. I don't know. It doesn't matter that they're bald, but who just come out and wreck the competition and leave. That's the Club. That's just an intimidating name.
Mm-hmm.
They could just come out, destroy, and leave. But they lose every week.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I saw them do anything intimidating was when the Dudley Boys were retiring and they beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good move. That made them look really bad. And I was like, yes, that's good heat. They didn't do anything. They haven't done anything since then.
Yeah, I disagree with this entirely. I saw this and I just sighed. I'm just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? But that wasn't even that bad. Like, I was like, all right, they used Francesca. They might win it back later, but we'll see. We'll talk more about that when we get to Raw later. Okay, so up next.
Yeah, we would keep talking about like this specific stuff, but literally it's more of the same on Raw. So we'll get back to it later.
All right. TJ Perkins, Brian Kendrick, cruiserweight match. What did you think about it? I'm curious.
Just more of the same as far as cruiserweights go. It's fresh, it's new, the first title defense, and it's just solid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching the cruiserweights. I don't know, there's something great about it because I love that high flying, faster paced stuff. And this is like one of the only places you'll get it, and it was just solid.
Mm-hmm. I think, like people, I saw a lot of people complaining, like, "Oh, this match is, boring." Same with the matches on Raw, like, "Oh, they weren't even that good." But you gotta understand that the cruiserweights have been on Raw for 2 weeks, and you can't expect them to show up in a completely different environment because the Cruiserweight Classic, albeit it was this under the same umbrella, it was completely different than what we're used to seeing. So putting it like in that vein immediately was different. Also, Cruiserweight Classic was a tournament, so matches that were going to happen, you knew were going to happen. Now there's a title, there's contention, there's tag teams now, I guess, and so there's a lot of variables now. And just it's a different environment, and I think if you give it time, then it will help. Also, they need Neville in there. They need an established guy in there to boost the division, because you can't just throw these guys on Raw and be like, hey, like these guys, they're wrestling. Look at them. Look at how fast their feet are moving.
Yeah, they would really benefit from somebody already from the roster that people know and putting him in there to show,
Right.
like, because everybody loves Neville, but WWE's not doing anything with him.
Yeah,
Throw
why
him
not put him in
the
there?
cruiserweight situation?
I thought that,
Or Kalisto too.
honestly,
Kalisto would be
after
good.
TJ won this match and Brian Kendrick was beating him up, where he like headbutted him, I thought Neville was going to come out and like help him and chase him off. That would have been an awesome ending to this match. But
I think they literally have no choice but to put Neville on the cruiserweights because he'll
he's
thrive.
literally made for it.
That's his whole gimmick. Not gimmick, but that's his finishing move.
He is nowhere near that U.S. title picture. Like, nowhere near it now.
Yeah, but as far as cruiserweights in general go, they just started. They literally have been here for less than 2 weeks, 2 shows, but like less than 2 full weeks being, in the WWE. And Cruiserweight Classic's its own thing where cruiserweights are allowed to be the only focus. Raw, cruiserweight has to, it's its own segment where nothing else is happening but cruiserweights, but it's not the entire focus of the show, so they don't want it to, overshadow other parts. And they also just started, so they're not going to have all the best stuff come week 1 and 2. If the best stuff did come week 1 or 2, no one would be complaining. They'd be like, wow, this is the shit. But also, they got to build it up a little bit, so they can't have like these huge matches for a division that literally just started. Because I don't know, some of the other casual fans wouldn't be as into it. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, they need to find their niche first, and then they'll from there they'll be able to,
they'll be fine. I'm excited for how it'll go.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like several months down the line, we're going to be talking about how the cruiserweights put on the best match of the night, no doubt.
I think that definitely. You know what else I'm excited to see how it'll go? Cesaro. Cesaro versus Sheamus. What do you think about that shit? What do you think?
Honestly, I thought this was match of the night. Yeah,
yeah. It was a really good match. It's just 2 guys who can wrestle their ass off. Everybody knows they can wrestle well.
Yeah.
And they wrestled well.
Oh my god, they tore the house down. And I know a lot of people were saying, oh, the double count finish is such a cop-out. No, like, the next night when Rusev and Roman did it, like, that's how you shouldn't do a double count out. Because, like, all they did was they just were fighting, and then all of a sudden they were fighting outside, and they got counted out. No, these guys literally, it looked like, whenever they hit each other, it looked painful. Like, they took so many bad bumps in this match. And then whenever they fell over the barricade, it was like, oh my god, like how, like they are so beat up. And I don't know, it just gave me a different feeling because, like, I believed it. I believed that they, like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. I obviously didn't believe that they were actually hurt. I'm saying, like, from a storyline perspective, it makes sense.
It reached the climax it had to. It was the 7th match these guys have faced each other against, and obviously the 7th one has the biggest stakes for both guys. They're going to put everything on there, and they let them have a long match. They let them have a really good match, and it was just 2 guys who one guy needed to beat the other guy, and they weren't going to stop until one guy beat the other guy, and it was really good. That Cesaro botch, that was,
oh my god, that was so scary. Did you see his face?
Yeah, and afterwards he was just holding like his shoulder neck area, and I'm like, oh man, that's so bad.
That was so scary. That was terrifying.
I got Steve Austin flashbacks.
Oh yeah.
I know it's totally different, but just laying on the head is always.
Oh my god!
And it looks terrible.
I love that move that Sheamus does, the high cross, where he's going to do like the razor's edge, but then he just drops you onto his knee.
Oh yeah, totally. I love that
move. Yeah.
I used to hate Sheamus. Now that they're not trying to give him the title for no reason because they don't know who else to give it to. Yeah. He's just a guy trying to wrestle with him, and I like it.
Uh-huh.
It was a solid match. Not huge about the finish. I wish one guy won over the other.
I don't know,
but we'll talk about it later in Raw because obviously more stuff formulates.
If I had a goddamn nickel every time I heard, oh, they're fighting on the outside. Oh, I gotta count out. This rivalry can't be contained. Like, But this was done right. Also, they did a count out victory, they did a count out on Seth Rollins and Rusev. Then they did one here in this pay-per-view, and then they did one the next night on Raw with Roman and Rusev.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because you actually don't see it.
You know where you don't
often.
see count out? SmackDown.
What? Yeah. SmackDown, there were 3 matches this week, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's probably why.
All right. So how about Chris Jericho always winning matches where the other guy should be put over?
Well, here's the thing.
Not always. It used to never be that way, but
I mean, I don't know. I wanted Sami Zayn to win. I predicted he would win too. I'm an idiot because I said that Sami Zayn was going to fight Rusev for the U.S. title, and that's not happening. But
yeah, I didn't see that happening. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I feel like it would have been a good match, but see, the thing is, Jericho is Kevin Owens' best friend, and if, like we said earlier, if Jericho is going to be maybe in the title picture soon, then it makes sense for him to win.
Yeah. As far as like the best friend stuff goes, it's okay that Chris won because if in the future if it makes sense and builds up, that's fine. Like it'll make sense. But Sami Zayn, like I'm tired of seeing him lose.
Yeah,
I guess he's the underdog from the underground. Like underdogs have to lose if they're going to be an underdog. But God, they're not doing anything.
Every time he loses, I cringe because I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Because he won. He beat the current world champ like 2 months ago, and then he didn't have a match at SummerSlam, and it was on the pre-show, and then he loses this, and I'm like, oh god, and then he wasn't on Raw, and I'm like, oh my god, what are they gonna do with this guy? I hope they don't mess it up.
Meanwhile, Kevin Owens beats John Cena in his first match, and he is at the height he's at right now. And whenever I think about Kevin, I always think of Sammy. But they're doing a ton with Kevin, and they could do a lot with Sammy. I don't know how long Kevin's going to be champ for in this current run. I don't know if Sammy's going to have a title. Maybe they'll hold that for a while. I don't know.
Sammy's definitely a guy that's going to be a mid-card champion before a world champion, though.
Yeah, well, so is Kevin. So are most people, other than Finn Balor, who gets lucky, I guess.
Whenever I
deserves it.
Whenever I see Sami Zayn, I just think Intercontinental Champion. Like he just looks like someone who would be Intercontinental Champion for a really long time.
Yeah, he could totally do that. Too bad he's on the wrong brand, you dumb.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, okay, fine. Well, we're moving on then.
What? Well, all right. Real quick. I'm just waiting for whenever Chris and Kevin feud, and Sammy interferes. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, that'd be a good match.
All right. So we had the Divas triple threat, and it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fine.
I thought it was good. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I thought I would because I knew Bayley wasn't gonna win.
Yeah, it was a hard match. Like either way, it was just like I was gonna be disappointed with the finish.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just put Bayley versus Dana Brooke on like the pre-show.
I guess. Yeah, Bayley didn't. Maybe it's too early for Bayley to be in a title picture, but they needed to do something with Bayley because Charlotte versus Sasha. No one complained if it was Charlotte versus Sasha.
Mm.
Charlotte retains, and then Sasha gets the title back, and then Bayley goes into fighting Sasha for the championship, and Charlotte, not with the title, battles with Dana.
Yeah,
perfect. It'd work well, but I don't know. It felt like they needed a bigger women's match, so they're like, let's just throw them all in there.
Yeah,
it would have been good if Bayley's going to be this big underdog, it'll be bigger when she does win the title because you'll be able to look at all the times that she was so close and didn't get it.
That's true.
Even though she was the one who got pinned. So
and maybe she'll end up like Dean Ambrose and be a really bad champion because of that.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Don't make fun of Dean to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only made a highlight video about him, put it up on YouTube, and it got 100 views.
It's doing pretty well. It
got 100 views. But yeah.
So, yeah, I like all of them, but it just wasn't a crazy match. I had that, like, as far as watching live goes, this is the match that I got to, like, finally sit down because I was working before this. I had to catch up all the matches before this. And I was like, awesome, I get to see this match. And I was watching it, I was just like, it's fine. They're wrestling, it's good.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
as far as, like,
I mean, it definitely like they're obviously they can do better, and I think they know they can do better, and they weren't planning on doing better because they're saving all the big spots for a later date because this is going to be a big match one day.
yeah, I think Bailey versus Sasha they have WrestleMania in their future. That, like, them two for the women's title.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that, and it's going to be great.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. But right now, it's just kind of hanging in the balance. Like, eventually all these superstars are going to have, like, huge moments. But right now, it was pretty good.
I agree.
So my boy Roman has the U.S. title now, and I'm pretty dang happy about it.
Oh yeah, did we even go over? Well, we'll go over our predictions after after we're done with the talking about the show, and then we can talk about our scores and what we got right. But yeah, Roman beat Rusev, so that's a thing.
It was a pretty solid match. I mean, it wasn't crazy good. Like, I think only as far as this pay-per-view goes, I think as far as wrestling goes, Cesaro versus Sheamus and Kevin and Seth were the only two where I was like, wow, the wrestling was really good. I really was into it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than it just thinking it was average. Roman versus Rusev, the actual match was average. It was good, but I was just more concerned with the finish because I was like, I think Roman can really thrive with this mid-card title, and they're doing it.
I mean,
were you surprised? Were you surprised when Roman won?
I don't want to say I was surprised, but I was like, okay.
I don't know. I saw his promo afterwards on Raw Fallout, and he was like, "Oh man, I don't care where I am on the card. Just that when you're gonna face Roman, you're gonna have trouble." And then he ends it. This is like becoming my new thing. I've been saying it all the time. He goes, "Yes, sir."
He doesn't say that. Please don't tell me he says that. No, he doesn't say that.
He says that.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he. Are you kidding me?
He says, "Yes, sir."
Yes, there's a promo on YouTube. He ends it and he says, "Yes, sir," and he points at the camera, and I think about it being pronounced as Yezzir.
Hang on.
Yes, sir.
He does not. No.
You want me to send it to you?
No, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, go to like 40 seconds in.
No matter where I'm at on the card, I'm the main event. The guy, baby. Yes, sir.
Oh my god, he actually says it. Oh, I can't believe that's real.
I don't know. I think it's. I was about to use a weird word. I think there's something funny about it. I think I don't know. I like Roman better now.
Yeah,
there's something about him.
I think he can do well with the U.S. title though.
I think people are gonna get tired of booing him, especially because he's not in the top spot anymore. I think he's gonna do good as U.S. champ. That promo, he was looking good. I was happy for him. I was like legitimately happy for him, which I've never cared about Roman enough to be happy for him in my life. So I was like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Rusev, the only problem I had is that Rusev is really only interesting when he has the U.S. title.
Yeah,
because that's his whole character.
It's a shame.
His whole character is that I should not have the U.S. title. I'm Bulgarian, but I do. Beat me. Oh, wait, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds it for a long time, and he looks really good. I love Rusev. Rusev's such a good wrestler. But now that he doesn't have it, I don't know. He'll keep feuding with Roman to get it back, but I don't think he will. And then what are they going to do with him after that?
I don't know. But, I don't know. They'll figure something out for him. I think he's proven that he can hang with the best of them.
Anyway, so I'm happy about Roman. He was the only title change of the whole night, but I'm excited to see what he can do.
Agreed.
I think it'll change up Raw a little bit.
All right. On to the main event.
The only thing is...
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Going on to the main event, since Roman won't be in the title picture, they legitimately do have less people to put in, like, who will be in the top card.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I'm trying to think about who else will be in, like, the top of the card.
I guess Jericho?
Yeah, but right now he's just a lackey.
Honestly, I don't see anybody. Like,
exactly. You don't see a single person.
Big Cass.
Cesaro and Sheamus are booked. Big Cass is obviously a tag team member, you dumb doopy.
No, he was in that Universal title Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, but he was just thrown in there. I have no idea why he was in that match.
No, I think it was to test him out, see what he could do in a main event level.
Yeah, it was neat though. I like Cass a lot.
Yeah, agreed.
He's huge. But anyways, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins is a really good match.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah.
That sounded really sarcastic.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I
know
thought
you
it was
weren't being
good. The
sarcastic.
finish was out there. It was a little. It
Yeah,
was like a.
I
I don't know.
was expecting a triple. I mean, I think everybody was expecting Triple H to come, but I don't think they wanted to play that card just yet. So they're saving it.
Yeah,
So instead, they're like, okay, we got Chris
it's
Jericho.
only
Who
so
will take
long you
on
can
Kevin
wait,
Owens.
though.
Honestly, I think they're going to do it again at the next pay per view because Kevin Owens' feud, title run would end too early if he only had one defense. So that obviously, unless he wins clean and they put Seth Rollins out of the main event picture, Seth Rollins, then otherwise he's gonna have to be a dirty finish again, and that's why they might save Triple H for at Hell in a Cell.
Do you think they'll have like Seth Rollins beat Kevin Owens at Hell in a Cell, and then he's like celebrating that Triple H comes out, pedigrees him, and then it's Seth Rollins versus Triple H at Survivor Series for the title?
That's possible, but I think it'd almost be too soon to end Kevin Owens' title reign.
Agreed.
As far as like main titles go, you can't have like a 2 month reign. Just doesn't look good.
Agreed. Especially if it's your first one.
Yeah, like Dean's was 3 months, and that was even a ton of people still thought that was short.
It felt longer than that, but yeah, agree.
It felt longer. That was only because he didn't really thrive that much in it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, he had moments, but like when I think about Dean as champ, I think about him having AJ Styles on the turn on the ropes
That was
and
funny.
bouncing his balls up and down. I'm like, okay,
I like that.
but anyways, solid match. Obviously, I love what they're doing with the Authority fucking over Seth. Like, obviously, Stephanie waited to bring out a ref until Kevin was better again,
Yeah.
and put him out, and then
Right.
Kevin Owens just powerbombs him right away. A little bit too soon because Seth had withstood a ton of stuff in that match, and then just one powerbomb puts him out. That stuff kind of.
Yeah, but it's his
I don't know.
finisher, so it makes sense.
I don't remember. Did he? Was that the only time he got powerbombed in the match?
I actually don't remember, but I feel like it wasn't. I don't know. I know he did that fake out package pile driver on him though.
Oh yeah, he did do that. I love that. The move looks
Yeah,
so
that move
good.
is great.
It looks so cool. It just makes him look so strong.
Yeah, and I love it because it's like you think he's going to do the package pile driver that he used to do back in the day, but then he just doesn't. He just throws him.
Yeah, but as far as the main event went, it was solid. It was Kevin's first main event, and the match was really good. Obviously, everyone knew there was going to be a dirty finish. Everyone knew Kevin was going to win clean.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it just didn't click with me. I don't know what it was. I mean,
I didn't think it was 5 out of 5. I'd give it like a. I never go out of 5s. I always go out of 10. But out of 10, I give it like a 8. It was an 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know. As far as the entire pay per view went, it was just good. It wasn't great. Backlash was better. You know why Backlash was better?
Why is that?
Because there were less. It was shorter and there was less matches. I don't know. I like.
Agreed. I agree with that actually. The length really factored into this. You could tell.
Pay per views always started at 8 o'clock, and Backlash was done by like 10:40, and Clash Champions was done at like past 11 ish. So it's like, I don't know. As far as mental capacity, your brain can only, take so many matches, so many storylines, and putting your mind into so many different situations. And it's
I
like,
see that.
I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't bad.
I agree with
It
that.
just, I didn't care that much about it. Like in a few months, I'm not going to be like, wow, Clash of Champions was this really great pay per view.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. No one's going to say that. They're just going to be like, it was fine.
I think I only got 2 right.
Okay, so let's look through it real quick.
I got New Day vs. Club wrong. TJ Perkins I got right. Cesaro Sheamus I got wrong. Jericho Sami Zayn I got wrong. I said Sasha, I think, for the women's.
Yeah.
I said Rusev for US. And Kevin Owens for the main event. So I got 2 right. You beat me, definitely.
Yeah, I got Kevin right. I was right about Roman. I was right about Charlotte. I was wrong. I can't believe I was wrong about Sami. I can't believe Sami Zayn lost. Everyone was wrong, but no one saw nobody winning the best of 7. So I think everybody was wrong on that one.
Yeah.
And I wish I was right about New Day versus Club, because Club just needs to win if they want storylines to actually matter.
I definitely agree with that.
And I think everybody knew TJ Perkins was going to win his first one.
Yeah, there was no way he was losing that. Although it was a pretty good match, so I don't know. All right, let's move on to Monday Night Raw. Now,
so my thoughts of Raw are not far off from my thoughts of Clash of Champions.
Yeah, they felt the same. Probably because 2 matches on it are the exact same matches.
Yes, everybody, there was no ending of a storyline really in Clash of Champions, so everybody was just still facing the same people. The same things were happening. Some of the same exact matches, and it's just you can't help but care when you see the same thing 2 times a day, and you weren't even that thrilled about it the first time.
Although this Raw did draw the worst rating ever in history for
did see that.
WWE.
I did see that.
I'm not surprised because it was the same night as the debate. I actually watched both at the same time.
I watched neither at the same time.
Well, good for you.
I believe I was working that night, but I never watch Raw live anyways because I can't. I don't have cable.
Okay.
I have cable, but I just don't have USA.
Yeah.
So I always watch the highlights, and I watch all the clips they put up, and I watch anything I can because I don't watch any. I don't like to watch anything that's filler because it's filler and it's not even worth talking about.
Factors into this show.
Well, of course, I'm saying I don't like watching There's a lot of between matches and promos.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the other stuff.
That's why I might get Hulu.
Yeah, because in a 3-hour show, how much of that's actually where things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's why SmackDown's format I know it.
I agree.
It's a broken record. It's not like a broken record, but SmackDown's format just works great.
I agree.
For it because 2 hours, the only thing is that it comes the day after a 3-hour show. So
yeah,
just so much wrestling in 2 days. I wish SmackDown was later in the week, like a Thursday.
I'm fine with it on a Tuesday. I mean, it's whatever. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it's true. Anyways, so we had Roman and Rusev again.
Let me just say this real quick. I love that this Raw started with a match.
Oh, yeah.
I think
it always comes out with an authority figure.
Maybe in the future it should start with a cruiserweight match. But
I literally do not care what they started with as long as I like it.
Yeah, but
as long as you're not doing the same.
I'm sick of these promos.
As long as it's not the same thing every week.
It is,
which usually. It was for a while with the authority figures. It was for a while. So as long as they change things up, I don't really care what they started with. As long as I like the segment. Mm-hmm. And Roman versus Rusev, I liked. It was a fine match. It was good. They're keeping the storyline going. I forget. Was it for the title again?
Yeah, it was. It was Rusev's rematch.
I think it was weird to have a title the night after.
Mm-hmm.
As far as build-up goes, it's just okay, rematch right away. Rusev loses again. It makes Rusev look worse.
Yeah.
I like when there's a title match and then there's wait in between the next, defense.
Uh-huh. I think, although I think people were saying this match was dumb. I agree. It was pretty dumb because it ended in a stupid way. But I feel like they're going to take their rubber match, I guess, to Hell in a Cell, which I could get behind. I think Roman and Rusev in Hell in a Cell could work. Because Bray versus Roman in Hell in a Cell I thought was pretty good. I think Roman versus Rusev could be better. And Rusev hasn't been in a Hell in a Cell match, and I think it'd be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, I like the idea of anybody in Hell in a Cell as long as they're having a good feud. And Roman and Rusev are having a pretty good feud. It's not crazy good. It's not,
Best feud on Raw right now.
I like Kevin versus Seth better, but
it's still in its early stages. But I think Roman and Rusev is worthy enough of Hell in a Cell. I mean, obviously these last several years have conditioned me to be up for a Hell in a Cell match, like two guys who barely feuded at all. But yeah, I'm fine with that. All right.
Yeah, New Day and Club could be one of the better.
I miss tag team Hell in a Cell matches. Whatever happened to those?
Honestly, I don't think I've seen that many.
There's DX versus the McMahons and Big
Oh,
Show. Then
yeah,
there's
I do remember that match.
There's DX versus Legacy, which was a weird Hell in a Cell match because like they locked Triple H on like the outside, and then like they beat up Shawn Michaels, and then they raised the cage, and then like Triple H beat them both up with a sledgehammer or something. But I miss those matches, man. I want them back.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Hell in a Cell matches is if they don't go out of the cell, I don't care about it at all.
Yeah.
It feels like wasted because why? I don't know. I guess they're supposed to be stuck, but most matches they stay in the ring anyways. So
Yeah.
it just means there's a cage in it that makes it harder to look at the match. It's not a big deal to me.
I don't know.
My
Best
favorite
Hell in a Cell
things.
match is probably, in my opinion, Brock versus The Undertaker from 2003 or 4. And that one, they literally just like beat the crap out of each other. They're bleeding. It was brutal, and it was perfect. It was probably a perfect Hell in a Cell match.
Not the one from last year.
No, I like the other one a little bit more because they did a lot more. The one from last year was still really good though.
As far as best of all time goes, I'm going to be really generic and say King of the Ring with Mick Foley and Undertaker because I really don't think there is one that tops that personally. But
That was, I don't know. That's debatable.
I don't know. I'm a fiend for hardcore matches. I love them. I literally 2 hours ago just watched Mick Foley versus Edge at WrestleMania 22, and I love that match.
Well, maybe
It's such a
then
good
we
match.
will talk about next week our favorite matches of all time to open the show because I got an interesting match for you.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right.
Oh,
So up next we had Cesaro and Sheamus as tag. I said Cesaro.
Cesaro.
It's
we can just bundle this entire conversation into Raw tag team because
yeah, because the
honestly,
next
talking
segment
about
was
all
a
of it.
tag team thing. All right. So Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm gonna keep this short. There's nothing really to talk about here. They're gonna become a tag team. You know, if Mick Foley put them together, I think they'll do good. What do you think?
I think it is literally what nobody wanted, but everybody will eventually enjoy.
Agreed.
Like nobody asked for this. Nobody thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, their styles will
cared
work
for it to
really well
happen.
together, though. I think
But
their styles can work really well. So
as far as swerviness goes, I don't know. It could be fun. I think it could be fun. The only problem is, will they get the belts? As far as the Raw Tag Team Championship goes, belt goes right now, no one's going to take it from New Day. So what's it even matter?
I don't know. It would have made way more sense to have the club win it, and then like they go after the club eventually.
Yeah. Obviously, the next few weeks they'll be facing. This week they face jobber talent.
Yeah.
Or local talent, and they'll probably keep facing jobbers for a little bit because these guys aren't usually in a tag team, so they have to learn how to play differently.
Cesaro and Sheamus versus the club would be so good.
Maybe by the time they're on top, ready to face, for the championship, maybe the club will be the champ. I would really fucking hope.
All right. So let's have a little conversation about the club. So they had another match with New Day on Raw, rematch. They lost again. No trombone this time. So I have a question.
Really good
I have a question for you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is the club dead?
The club's not dead. If they started winning just next week, everyone would be behind them again. Like if on the next Raw they beat New Day, they just got to get the momentum back. But WWE's not giving them the momentum. Literally in the match versus the New Day, they were looking really good. I would have believed it would have been weird if they won on Raw instead of winning on Clash of Champions, but it looked like they were about to win. Like I'm not kidding. And then Kofi, Kofi starts bleeding, and then they end up winning the match, and it's like okay.
This match made me very upset because now that the club's been beaten, like who's the New Day gonna face? Who are they gonna drop the titles to eventually?
Yeah, the club were the biggest heel tag team there was on Raw, so who else?
There's literally no one else.
Unless New Day fights Cesaro versus Sheamus, but I'd rather the club versus
Cesaro and Sheamus are not going to be heels. There's no way Cesaro is going to be a heel.
I know. But as far as this whole thing goes, they're just not handling it the way they could.
I think they're just keeping the belts on New Day because they want to sell more merch.
Yeah, like I said last week, New Day for WWE is more of like they need New Day to be on top because they are a figure for WWE that when they're on top, they make a ton of money off of them because they're just that tag team that everybody knows about.
Yeah, this just made me upset though. I really hope the club finds a way to bounce back because right now I literally have no idea how they could fix it. I have zero
They can
idea.
fix it just by booking them good, which I think will happen for them in time. They were looking so good for a while. Like I said, they ended the Dudley's career and they just looked so good as heels. There was good heat, and now it's just like
I guess
I
they
don't know.
could feud with Enzo and Cass,
Ooh, that'd be really good. That'd be really
but
good.
then Enzo and Cass would probably win.
Enzo and Cass could feud versus Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a feel like I don't think they're gonna. I think New Day and Club are gonna be feuding for a little bit now. Still,
it's
I
gone
still
on
can't
so
believe
long though.
it's been forever. I still can't believe there was a tag team match, title match the night after Raw again. It's like, why is Clash of Champions having to be repeated on this Raw?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's just upset me. I don't know. I really hope they turn it around. But yeah.
Yeah, I think they can. I like the club. They're gonna get there one day, but right now they're just treating them like garbage.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bailey. Let's talk about Bailey. Bailey basically kind of had a squash match. They put her against local talent, and she won. And literally, it's just filler for her to one day be in the title picture, but they don't want to put her in and keep the triple threat stuff going.
Yeah.
So she's just going to do her own thing for a little bit. And there's really no other women on Raw, so she's fought local talent.
Yep.
I don't
That's
know.
about it. Nothing much to say there. You know,
Literally,
Bailey's awesome
I mean,
though. So yay.
Bailey's great. They just gotta,
Okay.
and obviously there's building up for her to one day be champ.
Yeah.
But right now they got to find something interesting to do with her. And this segment wasn't that interesting. It wasn't bad.
It was
It's
fine. There was nothing to say about it really.
just literally nothing to say about it.
All right. So let's move on. Foley and Stephanie. So
Yeah, this is probably the biggest promo of the week as far as that stuff goes.
I don't like. There's the problem I have with these authority figures is that they're just all over the show and they won't leave. Like, if you watch SmackDown, Shane McMahon is barely on that show, like in a big capacity, other than just standing there and being like, "I'm Shane McMahon." And Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack afterwards is so like good because whenever he's on Talking Smack, he's like, "Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, the freaking." Baron Corbin, and I'm talking about Zack Ryder and the Hype Bros, and he's talking about everybody on the roster, and he makes everyone feel special. Stephanie and Foley don't talk about, like, I don't know, like, they're just, they're so 2015. And
Did you say they're so last year?
yeah, but like, I don't know, nothing, like, the authority figures on SmackDown, they feel prominent. And they're worked into storylines. They're worked into storylines when appropriate, like with Miz, and they're dealt with so much better on SmackDown. And Raw really needs to take a lesson from them and realize that they don't need these authority figures to be the main focus on the show to have a good show.
They don't even need the authority figures to be even a focus on the show that often.
Yeah,
like we could go weeks without seeing Stephanie, and it'd be fine because. Why does she need to be a main character? She doesn't wrestle. Obviously, she's the authority figure. Obviously, she's going to interfere and stuff. And for right now in the Kevin and Seth feud, it makes sense that she's there. But Mick Foley every week's just there to set up matches, and people yell at him, and that's it.
And
why
do Foley and Stephanie? Why is there this big storyline about them like having a conflict of power? Because I don't think in my like 10 years of watching wrestling, that's a long time. Oh my god! In my 10 years, I don't think I've ever seen like I've ever cared about a power struggle, like in authority figure
about two people who aren't going to wrestle each other.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever cared about it, and I don't understand why they keep pushing it. It just doesn't work. I don't
necessarily hate. It's just hate it.
I don't
it's
care.
Just kind of like
I literally don't care.
I don't care about it at all. I feel bad for Mick Foley. And I like that he called out Steph and stuff like that, because obviously Steph is being shady and stuff like that. But if they didn't have it, I wouldn't care at all. We wouldn't miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Raw's a 3-hour show, so they got to throw in stuff like this. I don't know.
I agree.
Even if it won't add that much.
Yeah. All right.
What they should do is Foley. You know, it'd be great if Foley was the guy who he was really into cruiserweights and was like, let's get these guys being great on the show. And he was there doing something, and he was particularly setting up certain, like, what if he was the guy who said, Neville, you're gonna be a cruiserweight now?
I'd like
Like,
that.
did stuff like that. I don't know. He needs to do stuff that matters.
Yeah, like Daniel Bryan, when he's not talking smack, like I said, he always talks about everyone on the roster, and he like, it sounds like he's actually just giving his opinion on them. Like, it literally sounds genuine.
I agree. Yeah. I think most everyone would agree the authority figures on SmackDown are better. Obviously, because there's less time, they don't even have to show up as often. Like, it won't matter if they're not there.
Right.
If
There's
they
more
just
important
have
things.
a really small role, they say what they have to say and they go.
Mhm.
But every week, McFoley and Stephanie get a lot of time centered on them. Like, they get more time on them than the new cruiserweights. They get more time on them than people who need time on them in the show. There's 3 hours. There's other people who can get spotlight.
Yeah. All right.
Like, if you're gonna have a 3-hour show, at least do something.
All right. We gotta speed things up here. So up next, we got Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander versus Lince Dorado and Drew Gulak, cruiserweight tag team match. Last week, you said that these two guys, said Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, were your favorites in the cruiserweight division, and hey, they put them together.
Yeah, I think Rick Swann he had a lot of charisma, and I was like, this guy's cool.
He's going to be big one
day.
day, or bigger,
Yeah.
I should say. He's not going to be like world champ, but he's going to be a big focus of the cruiserweight division.
Otherwise, this entire match was just good, showing off
Yeah.
cruiserweights. They have purple ropes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like how they whenever they announce the winner, they do the same thing that they did in the Cruiserweight Classic, where like the loser will stand on one side and the winner will stand on the other, and they raise their hands.
Yeah, like I said, like they're really trying to make cruiserweights its own segment in the show that's completely separate from the rest of Raw.
Yeah,
like purple lights, purple ropes. I know it's just a color, but they'll even put Raw and put cruiserweight under the name, and it's like, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
They should do something like that for women. I know maybe they shouldn't. I don't know, but it'd be cool.
I wouldn't mind. I think it's.
I think the way it is right now is fine, but it'd be neat.
It doesn't bother me at all, really. I like it though. It adds a little separation. So.
Yeah, but otherwise the match is fine. Nothing really crazy to talk about. There was no huge moment, just wrestling.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And that was the same with the other cruiserweight match.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. TJ Perkins has a fucking really cool intro though. I love it.
Yeah. The it sounded like Mega Man 2, like that Dr. Wily stage from Mega Man 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. It reminded me more of Undertale actually.
Really?
Yeah, it did for some reason.
Mega Man tweeted at him. The official Mega Man account tweeted at him and said there was a cool entrance.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's really cool. But as far as his match went, it was just I don't know why there's matches coming up. I have nothing to say about them, but it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you have nothing to say about them because we barely know these people.
Yeah, so that's why maybe we should put talent that we already know, so we can have more of a care about it.
Tony Nese was a good surprise showing up here, though. I didn't think he was going to show up.
Yeah. By the way, I saw his promo. I know obviously he's not supposed to be a huge talker, but he when he talked, it sounded like he was acting. I didn't like that.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, he might get better with time, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
It just sounded like he had rehearsed it like 20, 30 times in his head, and then the cameras were on him, so he said it, and it just kind of sounded really unnatural. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, and the next week, next week we're getting Brian Kendrick, TJ Perkins in a rematch from Clash Champions, because we didn't see any of those this week.
Yeah, I mean that does affect his character though, because when he doesn't talk as well, it's kind of like, ooh,
yeah,
okay, but he's exciting.
I agree.
So on our notes we have Charlotte does a thing. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't remember what Charlotte did.
Oh, she came out and she had a promo and she's talking about how she won and how great of a champion she is, and then Sasha came out and it's like, I'm the boss and you're gonna give the title to me.
I love Sasha, but the way she talks is just kind of annoying.
Yeah, and then they announced they're going to have a match next week for the title.
Which we know Charlotte's going to retain.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, how many times a year does a title change happen over Raw? I can only remember when Sasha won it over Raw. Roman won it Raw during a Raw last year, but that rarely ever happens. Come on.
Yeah, and plus last time Sasha won the title like from Charlotte, it was at Raw. So I don't know if they're gonna do like the same match again with the exact same circumstances and have it end the same way.
Yeah, it's just I won't go into my entire thoughts of Raw, but a lot of the stuff in this Raw was just the same thing that was regurgitated, the same thing, just keeping stories going, and it just was kind of stale.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
But Cesaro and Sheamus, they do a thing too.
Yeah, they beat
they
jobbers.
basically. We already talked about that though.
Yeah.
I'm going over my notes really bad, aren't I?
Yeah, that's all right.
So the only thing we have left is the best segment of the show, which was the highlight reel.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always look good.
Mm-hmm. The part where Big Cass was talking about, what did he say? He said something about Santa Claus, and then Jericho's like, I'm gonna be like Santa Claus and sit on your lap. And then Big Cass is like, what'd you say? And he's like, I said I was gonna punch you in the face. He's like, no, you didn't. You said you were gonna sit on my lap. I'm like, no, I said I was gonna punch you in the face.
They're really entertaining, and you can tell when they're enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
You can tell because it comes out, and you're enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah. By the way, quick flashback to Clash of Champions, the ending. Jericho coming out wearing a Kevin Owens shirt was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cute. I just loved it.
And then at the very end when he was singing, "We are the champions," he's amazing.
Yeah, I was watching that with Tom. He was like, "Is that really happening?" And then he keeps quoting. He's like, "That's my best friend. That's my best friend."
Oh my god,
it's really funny.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, the highlight reel segment was pretty good. These guys are always going to knock it out of the park when it comes to the mic, and it was no different here. So
I actually liked what they did for once. Like, Seth wasn't cleared to wrestle, so they gave us blue balls and had him come out in the ring, and they had to be thrown out because Steph said he's not going to be able to go out and interfere. So you were kind of getting ready for it, and you're like, oh yeah, Seth's coming, and he had to be sent back out.
Mm-hmm.
I know when you actually watch it, you're like, well, nothing happened there. But I don't know, as far as like keeping you going, like there's things left to happen.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I like that. It was fine. And Kevin Owens is looking like the fucking guy who acts like he can't be touched, but it's because everyone around him is making sure he can't be touched. And he's acting like he's like this badass, which he really could be, but they're not letting him be like this untouchable guy because he can be touched. They're just making sure his friends don't want to be touched.
Exactly.
And I like that a lot. It's great.
It's a good dynamic.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
Only problem I had, well, Enzo and Cass are in the main event, which is great. But what have they been doing with Enzo and Cass like for the last month?
I have no idea. I think the bigger question is where were the shining stars in this paper or in this show?
You know what? I'll fucking quit watching Raw every week if Shining Stars does not show up.
You know what? Maybe they went to Puerto Rico again.
They did have a new commercial before.
Yeah, we really need to start a campaign or something for the Shining Stars.
Let's get PJ sent there. Let's get us sent there. Let's go to Puerto Rico.
Let's go. I'll actually buy a timeshare with them.
I will pay for all of our fans who watch it on SoundCloud.
Oh shoot, it's a good incentive, guys.
That's a good incentive.
Why we love the Shining Stars Part 2. All right.
They can watch us film it live.
No.
But anyways,
and the Shining Stars can react to everything.
Enzo and Cass the past month they were like thrown in. They had nothing to do with them. They were just thrown into this main event, and it was good. It was fine. It was cool. But Enzo and Cass, like, they don't have like a site. They don't have any they don't have their sights set.
We need way more tag teams. We need way more tag teams. Like way more.
They just added one this week, but I don't know. It's just Enzo and Cass. Like no one would complain if they were tag title, like they were the champions, because everyone loves them. They're so over. But when people are over, do something with them. Don't just have them sit around and sit around. I don't know.
It's kind of
Enzo and Cass versus the Club for the title would be great.
It's kind of what they did back in like 2011 with Sheamus. They had him literally do nothing Like, he was booked really, really high up on the card, and he literally did nothing. And then he eventually won the Royal Rumble, and it was like, oh, that makes sense. So they were literally just like
You gotta
waiting
do
to
something
pull
with
the trigger
eventually.
on him, you know?
I understand why they have these problems though, because there's 52 shows they have to put out a year, and it's not like every single show your character's going to
And
be
it's
doing
not like this
something
one wasn't going to
huge.
get destroyed in the ratings.
Yeah, I don't even pay that much attention to the ratings because they have a ratings problem. I have no incentive to watch live on TV.
Yeah, and they need to get on their butts to fix that.
And even if they fix it, I'm still not going to do it. Like, some of their big fans just don't watch on TV. There's so many people who just would rather watch recaps and highlights.
Yeah, but they need to get that up because USA Network is not gaining from any of their popularity on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. They need to have a partnership with USA where they can have the show be on the network.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'd pay $15. I'm not kidding about this. I'd pay $15 a month for WWE Network if I got to watch Raw and SmackDown on there.
Yeah.
That's $5 more a month for me just to watch their show instead of having to watch highlights, which is the harder way to do it. But I don't have a way to watch it live.
Going back to Hulu again though.
True.
It's I think it's
do
only
they stream it
$6.99
live on
so.
Hulu? Do they stream it live on Hulu?
I don't think they do. No. I don't know.
Anyways, this entire Raw was really just meh. Like, it was nothing to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, it was entertaining, it was fine, but as far as the results went, like, you looked at everything and you were like, okay.
Yeah, I agree. It was whatever.
It was so whatever, and it's really hard because Raw always has to deal with. I don't know if it's you can tell it was a really good pay per view if the night after you're really looking forward to the next Raw.
Yeah, I feel that.
You're always like, oh, the Raw after blank, the Raw after blank.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Raw after WrestleMania, but the Raw after Clash of Champions, like, I couldn't say it was like, wow, man, I can't wait. I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But SmackDown gets the benefit of a day, a day between when the pay per view is, so things can stay fresh.
Yeah. But this SmackDown, I sort of felt the same way about Raw, except it's just there was nothing happened except for one thing. I don't know. There were 3 matches on it, and I
actually don't care that much about how many matches there are on a show as long as I'm liking the segment.
I just feel like nothing happened. Like, honestly. Except for the Miz thing, but we'll get to that. So the show started. We had the Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt segment. I'm actually gonna let's just talk about the whole Randy Orton Wyatt thing throughout the whole night. So I thought this was like a little weird because it's just like Randy Orton going through Wyatt's like cryptic stuff, and he eventually finds him and he beats him up. I don't know if I like Bray Wyatt. His cryptic stuff, I don't know if it works this much in this modern age. Like, I don't know.
I disagree. I don't think their feud's that great because I still can't believe Bray lost the game. But they haven't really had a match, or they haven't had a match yet. So you just have to go off promos and what's been going on. I think this was the best thing they've done with this feud so far.
Really?
Because it reminded me of like a modern day horror movie that a bunch of a high school teenagers would be like, we got to watch this movie. And there was something about like the way it was filmed, the way what was happening, there was something eerie about it. I know it wasn't good. It was kind of awkward, but it was different. I actually liked it. Like, I mean, it was just a lot of quiet, a lot of Randy walking around. But there was something fun about it. I liked it.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was good, but
I don't think that Randy should have come behind Bray with the mask, because this whole segment was supposed to be like Bray is in Randy's head, like messing with him, trying to look better, and then Randy comes up behind him and like beats him up, and it's just kind of like, oh, you should save that. It should have been like, Bray's really fucking with Randy. It'll make Bray look really good. But Bray has the problem where he always looks good. That man can cut a beautiful promo. He talks so well. I love the way he talks. Just I don't care about him wrestling at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He is such a good talker. He talks so slow and like I don't know. I could listen to him all day.
Mm-hmm. But I don't
But
know. They need to give him
he-
something, like a title or something.
he's not the guy who needs a title. Like there's certain people who don't need a title. It just wouldn't matter. And, like
Yeah.
Undertaker is one of the best wrestlers of all time. And, like
Okay. He needs a win.
does
He
not
needs a
need a
win.
title.
He needs a big win.
He needs a win. I agree.
He hasn't
if you're
won.
Trying to look like you're trying to look like this huge guy or this like huge figure who is scary. He can't lose all
Yeah,
the
I
time.
don't think he's
Everyone
lost.
said this.
I don't think he's won a rivalry since when he fought the ECW originals.
Oh, okay. So I was watching WrestleMania 32 stuff, and like The Rock and Cena buried the Wyatt family. Just made them look like nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's just how Bray Wyatt gets treated, and how are you supposed to feel whenever he goes into a feud with one of the top card people in WWE, like ever, Randy Orton. Like he can talk well, but you're not going to expect him to win. That he's not going to win this feud.
Mm-hmm. I think a face Wyatt could be cool.
I don't know. I don't think that'd work.
They could try. I don't know. He's gonna run out of stuff to do eventually.
Yeah, now he doesn't even have. He only has one member of the family here to help him. Like, is Braun Strowman even?
No,
a
I
part
think
of the
he's
family
broken
anymore?
off. He's doing his own thing now.
Yeah, well, I've never cared that much for the Wyatt family, but they I don't know what they're gonna do with him. They just gotta do something with him. And like, he's with a great talent right now, and just nothing's happening.
Agreed.
This was a cool segment though. I liked the way it was filmed. I liked the Predator and Prey stuff. It was eerie, and I liked that. That's the stuff I love about Ray Wyatt, and they do that stuff really well. At least there's that.
Yeah. All right. So up next we had the 8-man tag. So the team of the Usos, and it was the Ascension. Yeah, the Ascension won. And I think just another 8-man tag match. I thought it was interesting how I love how the Usos target like the leg now and do that like their submission and stuff, and they super kick the legs. They do like the splash onto the leg. I love that. I think it's great. It's just a great thing that heels do, and they do it all the time, and they're great heels, I think.
Yeah, you can tell they're just intentionally trying to fuck with American Alpha and ruin them, and that's what good heels do, and they're looking good as that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say I love the Usos, but they're looking so much better than they ever did.
I agree. I think they
Otherwise,
I think they could win at No Mercy, the tag title.
I definitely think they do, because I don't know how long they could keep Rhino and Heath Slater interesting for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the most interesting part about the storyline with Heath and Rhino was them building up to getting the title.
Exactly.
But as far as them actually having the title, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we already got our payoff, so I think we'll be fine, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. It's still interesting that they are champs.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Usos could definitely be good heel champs for American Alpha to eventually get the titles from them.
Exactly.
But otherwise, the segment was fine. It was a good match. Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the women's tag rematch, a rematch from the women's tag from last week, except this one wasn't a train wreck. And
it might not have been a train wreck, but I cared about it all the same. I just did not care even a little bit.
Yeah, it's whatever. Speaking of Carmella and awkward, did you see Carmella's entrance in 2K17?
I didn't.
Oh my
tell me about
good
that?
lord. Okay, like, I'm buying the game day one, by the way, to everyone who's listening, because I don't know, I'm conditioned to. I've bought all the games day one, except for 2K14 on day one since 2009. I can't stop. But, like, she comes out, and she's like, "My name is Carmella. I'm the Queen of Staten Island." Like, she actually sounds like that, and she has a microphone.
Really?
Yes, and it looks so bad. It looks terrible. I'm gonna play as her all the time.
Well, I can't wait to play the game, and which, by the way, that was sarcastic. I'm only going to play the game with you guys ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, real quick.
I have to buy it. I don't know. I don't have to buy it, but I'm gonna buy it.
So this was the best segment in wrestling in probably since the last big Miz segment that was crazy good.
Yeah, like, oh my lord.
This was
This
amazing.
changes everything about how I feel about this feud, too.
I was looking at my YouTube sub box, and I hadn't watched SmackDown live. Well, I don't mean the show. I mean, I hadn't watched it live. And I saw this clip, and I was like, I'm going to watch this. Because I saw an update that Dolph would have to retire. I'm like, okay, I have to watch this promo. And there it was. I was so invested. Most I've been invested in something in a while. And it's crazy good. Miz looks so bad, and Dolph's looking so good. Tell what do you think?
Oh my god, Miz really has like reached like a second wind of his career, and this match was just feels so right. Like I wanted the Miz to retain again, keep being the IC champ, but like now that Dolph has his career on the line, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know what to do, man. Like I don't know what to cheer for anymore.
As far as promos go, this was like getting you to care about what's being talked about, getting you to care for the face, getting you to hate the hell out of the heel. It was perfect because he comes out, makes fun of the city, says, "Hey, I'm the real champ, and I was here the whole time." And then you guys go on and like LeBron James. I don't know if you know the story, but
Yeah.
LeBron James left Cleveland, comes back and won a title because Cleveland hadn't won a title in 60 years. And he's like, "Hey, I had this title the whole time. You guys didn't give a shit about me, so I don't give a shit about you." It just makes him look like a fucking asshole, and it's great. And then he's like, "Okay, here's the only two decent people in the building. It's his parents." Makes him look like a big asshole too, because he's like, "I don't care about any single person, one of you. Look at my parents, cheer for them." And it's just like, oh my god, I hate you. And then he's like, oh, look who else's parents are here, Dolph's parents. And he's like, how is it, raising a loser? And I'm like, God, because this segment felt so real. There was everything about the segment was real.
Yeah.
Like these are two characters, but not really, not fucking really.
Oh my god, like this match is gonna be so good.
It's gonna have to.
Like every pinfall is gonna be like crazy. Like I'm gonna cringe every pinfall.
I know. My eyes will be glued to the screen. I will not be talking to anybody, touching my phone. I will be just watching this match because I care a lot about Dolph Ziggler. And I want him to stay in the company.
Yeah, but like Dolph retiring, I don't like leaving WWE. I don't see it as an impossibility. Like I can understand it. Like he's been there a really long time. You know, he said in the past that he's not going to go forever. You know, he got a WWE title match 2 months ago. Maybe that was them being like, all right, we're going to give you this big match, as your final big match of your career before we send you packing before your contract expires. Like, I don't know. Who do you want to win?
Real quick, there's so much that's real about this too, because his contract really is going up after this pay-per-view.
Is it?
I'm seeing everybody saying that his contract actually
that
does
might be
go
a rumor,
up.
but go on. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I've read a lot of rumors, and I don't want to talk about them because they're pissing me off. But that's because I care so much about this. But I love Dolph, and when he started talking and he just had free reign to talk about his career, you could tell the way he was talking that that's how he actually felt. At WWE, he had given WWE everything, and WWE could have used him and put him at the top of the mountain, and they didn't give back, even though he had given them everything.
Agreed.
Every little piece of himself. I thought he was about to just not cry, but you could tell he was all there emotionally. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, that's how he actually feels, because he has had the main title twice, and he just wasn't used the right way. He could have been on the top of the mountain because he's just that charismatic, and I love that. I love Dolph Ziggler. There's just something about him that I love, getting behind. He's a show off. I just love everything about him. His theme's great, and it's just that his theme's great. I just literally was going on about how great he was. His theme's great.
All right. So 2 questions actually. Who do you want to win?
There's no doubt about it. I want Dolph Ziggler to win, because if you're gonna have a huge heel like this, they're not gonna stay with the title forever. Eventually, they lose the title,
Okay.
and it's like, okay, if you're gonna give up the title, you better give up for it. There better be a damn good reason for him losing the title. It better be a big moment. You better give it to the ultimate face.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think there's a single person who does not feel for Dolph Ziggler right now, because I just feel so bad for him, because I know in like real life setting, as far as it goes, he's been fucked with, and he just wants to show what he's worth, and he's gonna do it. And I can relate with that. You just want to show everybody you can do that shit, but like you just never get the chance, and you're like, okay, give me like this last chance. I won't disappoint you.
All right. So second question: if Dolph Ziggler is on his way out, is this a good way to end it?
100% yes, because if you're gonna have someone like The Miz, who is that big of an asshole, and they want him to look that good, if he ends someone's career, it will make him look that much better as a heel.
Yeah.
It'll be monumental if they actually do end his career. And I could see it happening. I could literally see both things happening, which is the great part.
Yeah, this
is the best feud and best like chip they've had in a while, as far as like getting people to watch.
Best Dolph Ziggler promo and best Miz promo of all time.
Yeah, both of them looked so good and were doing exactly what they had to do. There was nothing better. I literally watched the clip, and I showed my roommate the minute I watched it, because I was just so invested to it. You know when you like something so much,
Yeah.
and you're so just like, you want to show everybody, like, watch this, it's great, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And he watched, and he was like, holy shit, that's crazy, that's really cool, like that match is gonna be awesome, we have to watch that. And Tom isn't really in that. My roommate is not that much into wrestling right now. He's like, I don't know, it's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, oh, Dolph's entire career's on the line. That's crazy. We got to watch that. Like, I'm really excited, and
Yeah.
I think either way, it'll go how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
I'm reading bullshit rumors that like it's rumors, and they piss me off. But they're like, apparently Dolph told the crowd afterwards like he really was going to retire.
That's he wouldn't do that.
He's too young to retire. He could have a really good run with the IC title.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, he has other things that he would want to do. He could feel burned out because, like he said in his promo, he just might not be getting anything. So he might just feel like he's done with it, you know?
Well, I feel like the misery that he said he wanted to be put out of was not being in the company the way he could be, not being utilized the way he could be. And he has talents that he could use elsewhere, or other passions that he wants to pursue. But he's not going to give up on this passion unless there's something else this passion is going to give him.
Right.
And he's going to see if there's something else that this passion can give him. Because otherwise, he's going to give up. And you don't see people like actually real life give up like that. And if it actually does have to happen, it's gonna be emotional. Like, if he loses that match, I'm gonna be pretty sad. I'm gonna miss him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this match is gonna be amazing. This promo was amazing.
Yeah, this was by far like saved like the pretty meh week of wrestling that there was.
Oh my god. Definitely.
Because I'm still super hyped to watch wrestling again next week. So obviously I'm always gonna watch it, but like keeps me there. And something this good is like, I'm like, okay, WWE knows what they're doing.
Agreed.
Except for Keith not giving the club the title.
I'm still on that.
So going to the main event, AJ and Dean for the title, with Cena on the being announcer. Tell me what you thought about it.
Oh, I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, it was basically Backlash main event again. They didn't really do anything that was significantly better than Backlash. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it ended when AJ went after Cena, punched him in the face. Cena then distracted Ambrose, got in his face. AJ Styles rolled him up, and he won. And then Cena AA'd both of them at the end. Yeah,
as far as an actual championship match, we all knew AJ was gonna retain, so it didn't really matter that much. I'm tired of these championship matches all the time. I don't think anyone cares if during Raw or SmackDown there were championship matches.
Yeah. Did he AA
only every now and then. What'd you say?
Did he AA Ambrose at the end?
He AA'd both of them,
okay,
yeah.
I don't remember.
But I didn't mind that at all. Like Cena, it made Cena look really good because last week, I believe Dean looked really good after AJ came and interfered in that match, and Dean fucked with AJ. Like every week, if you're gonna have a triple threat and you want everybody to have an equal investment in all the characters, you got to make them all look good. Last week they made Dean look good whenever he got back at the champ after he interfered with the match. They made Dean look good. This week they made Cena look good whenever he AA'd both of them. Like people, we saw the Cena we would usually expect, where he just comes out and A's everybody and is on top, and we actually don't see that as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I liked it just fine. AJ and Dean, they had a good match, and then I just like the dynamic of all three guys. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think AJ's going to retain. We can talk about that next week, but everybody's looking good. Even Dean's still looking pretty good. He's in the main event. He's doing well.
Yeah. Did you see John Cena's Talking Smack promo?
I did watch it, but I actually can't tell you that I remember much from it. Like, I didn't think it was as special.
Yeah, everyone was talking it up, saying how amazing it was. The one part I actually found interesting about it was just when he said, like, he basically just, like, twisted the words around on what Dean said about him last week on Talking Smack. And I love, like, those two, like, they're so, I don't know what it is. They're just so good at, like, yelling at each other and arguing.
Yeah, you can tell in the triple threat, Dean and John have, since I guess they are both people who don't have the title. Like Dean and John have a lot more heat with them too. Like you can tell.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
They're really
they
good
got
against
good
each
chemistry.
other. I don't know how long John's gonna stick along in this. But he's looking good. I know they just kind of threw him in, but I like what they're doing right now because they're not just doing the same pay-per-view match from Backlash and having a rematch. They're throwing Cena in there. I think they're really going to have a really good match. Like,
Definitely.
I'm liking what's setting up.
Yeah, they're building up to John Cena's 16th title reign. I don't think it's not going to happen in No Mercy, but I feel like it might happen.
I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen by next WrestleMania.
I think it'll happen like a big match situation, not like this. This is a big match, but it's a triple threat rematch at No Mercy.
There wasn't a huge amount of build-up. Like, I know this is the build-up right now, but if they're going to have a huge moment like him tying Ric Flair, they got to have more build-up than just this. I agree. And I think they're going to do it next WrestleMania, because how big of a WrestleMania moment would that be?
That would be pretty big, yeah.
Pretty big.
Pretty big.
As big as you can get.
As big as you can get.
Yeah, and then you know what they're really going to do?
What are they going to do?
They're going to bring Ric Flair back, and they're going to have a match for the title. Winner gets to have 17.
And the other one is demoted down to 15.
Yeah, sure. All right, so
yeah,
a lot of wrestling we have to go over in this podcast. There's so many segments, and it goes on for a while, and a lot of it feels the same. That's the only problem I had this week was there's so much wrestling, and so much of it was just the same.
I agree.
And I guess you have to do that when you have so many shows. You can't really have something new every time. Hopefully. You can at least swerve and not have the same matches night after night. You literally had 2 matches, like the U.S. title match and what was the other match in Raw that was the same match? Yeah, the club, like both title rematches. Like if you want championships matches to be bigger, you can't have them every week. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Raw was just trying to because they had Daniel Bryan came out SmackDown. It's like, AJ Styles are going to defend against Dean Ambrose, and it actually made a little bit of sense. And then they were like, it's Rusev, Roman, tag titles, women's title next week, cruiserweight title.
Yeah, and I can't keep track of it. I don't care that much.
There are more championship matches happening on Raw than there were at Clash of Champions.
I am more invested in championship matches when they're during pay-per-views.
That actually doesn't make any sense, what I just said, but it was a joke. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I kind of just brushed over it because it was weird.
All right.
Anyways.
So we're going to move on. We're going to conclude our podcast with sort of like a weekly news thing. We're just going to pick, obviously if there's more than one important story, we're going to cover it. But, we're going to talk about, the biggest news story of the week, and we're going to discuss it. So this week I chose... It's sort of 2, but they kind of correlate with each other. So we got WWE throwing their bid out to buy TNA.
Yeah, I have heard about that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea only so they can get talent because there's a lot of talent right now, but there's a lot of guys that people would be excited to see back.
Right.
I could do
James Storm is definitely somebody who I could see in NXT. He was in NXT before, but apparently didn't like sign any contracts or anything long term. So he actually TNA bought him back for more money, and he's like the only wrestler that like I think he's the top paid wrestler there right now. And yeah, they kind of sank a lot of their money into him just to keep him, and it's obviously not paying off for them real well. But yeah, I think this could be okay. I've seen a lot of people say that if WWE buys TNA, it's going to be like the death of television wrestling. It's going to be a monopoly. Like, if you honestly think that TNA is even on WWE's radar nowadays.
Oh, they don't care. WWE does not care about TNA even a little
Yeah,
bit.
like maybe if it was back when like Hulk Hogan was a thing, maybe they would have. And even then, they didn't because TNA tried to move into Monday nights one time and they got crushed. So they immediately moved back.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, obviously, WWE's not a monopoly. There are other stuff, but they're so leaps and bounds above everybody else in popularity that people are going to come back to WWE anyways. And that's why whenever WWE's not doing as well, like they're having really dumb storylines. I don't mean ratings wise, like dumb storylines. They don't have to worry that much because it's not make or break for them. They're like, okay, we can get away with having a really dumb storyline or a stupid finish or something like that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
people aren't going to leave us because they don't really have that much anywhere else to go other than like stuff like Lucha Underground. But I feel like anyone who watches that stuff is still somebody who watches WWE.
Mm-hmm. Or at least keeps
Like
up with it.
if you watch like Lucha Underground or New Japan Pro Wrestling, there's a chance you probably like pay attention to WWE too because you probably started by watching WWE.
And all your favorite wrestlers from both of those products go to WWE eventually.
Yeah, it's literally inevitable because they'll get paid more.
Mm-hmm. Finn Balor, AJ, the Club, all in WWE now. All big stars in New Japan. So
I'm sure they'll get more too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is Matt Hardy in TNA?
Yep. Matt
Okay,
Hardy.
that's what I thought
Broken
so.
Matt Hardy's in TNA. They apparently sent like feelers out to him, like that they want to maybe sign him to something. And I think that's really interesting because, like, do you think Matt Hardy could work in WWE? Broken Matt Hardy.
I think he could. I think he could.
Yeah.
Does he have to be broken, or does he have to
Oh
be
no, he has to
Matt
be
Hardy?
broken Matt Hardy. Like, there's no doubt.
Okay, Matt Hardy versus Bray.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Like you got to have like him. He has to stay the same. He has to be absurd. I think he could work.
Definitely. I think
or Matt Hardy versus Dean, because they'd be like, oh yeah, you really think you're so fucking crazy?
I didn't
right?
even think about that, and then I could give Dean a chance to be crazy again.
Yeah, it would have like be like, really, you're such a lunatic. Yeah, like what the hell do you even do? Even though Matt Hardy wouldn't say anything like that because that's too direct.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that'd be deep.
Yeah, I think Vanguard 1 would have to come along as well. Senor Benjamin, King Maxwell, all of the characters. Did you see Vanguard 1 has a Twitter now?
I don't even know who Vanguard 1 is.
Oh, he's the drone. Matt Hardy's drone.
Yeah, I don't pay that much
He's
attention.
the army of aerial assault robots.
I've only seen the final deletion.
Yeah, he was the one who he was the drone who showed up with hologram.
Maybe I don't pay that much attention.
Oh my god, whatever. Anyways, Vanguard 1 has a Twitter account. He's a drone. He has a Twitter account. It's a big deal. Also,
it's the best thing TNA has going for him.
Also,
Skarsgård gets to pick it up.
Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat, would have to make an appearance as well.
Okay, I was about to say dilapidated boat has to.
Yeah,
because I remember that.
Yeah, I think it could work. I think they could work something out. Yeah, it would be good. I think I would love to see it. I would really love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I think the entire internet would love to see that stuff. It'd just be really entertaining.
I think people were scared because he has way more creative freedom in TNA than he would have in WWE. But if they want Broken Matt, like they're gonna get Broken Matt, and I think Broken Matt can do as long as he had like creative. I guess a little bit of creative freedom. Then to like do whatever he wants, make those videos. I think he works best when he's in those like backstage filmed videos rather than an actual ring.
Yeah.
But as long as he can keep those, he'll be good.
Yeah. So we've reached the end. We really don't have anything else to talk about. It's been an hour and a half, but a lot of wrestling to talk about.
Still shorter than last week, and that's what we're going for here.
Yeah, I think I'm talking real talk here. This doesn't have to be on the podcasting. Well, we didn't have a finish yet, so maybe we can take that out. But we can definitely find a way to make it work better and not just be like, wow, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. This is not interesting. We'll find a way to work these things out.
Yeah,
Thanks for sticking around with us.
We still had good discussions.
As far as exposure though, the YouTube channel, we can cut out that stuff. So, anyways, thought it was a decent week for wrestling, but it was kind of a lower week for wrestling that had higher highs.
It was a boring week.
It had very when it was at that higher points though. It was good, and the Dolph versus Miz thing is probably the best thing I've seen in years in wrestling. It was so good. I'm big,
you really
big fan. I loved it. It was really good.
Best promo of 2016.
No, other than maybe Miz on Talking Smack, in which both have to do with Miz. Miz is on fire right now.
Yeah.
So I only know one way to finish this podcast. You know how it is?
Don't do it.
Don't do it?
Don't.
And you just watched the Joe and Shob podcast. Yes, sir.